Hello, friends. I would like to share with you today my latest find in the hi-fi music world. As a classical musician who is involved in orchestral playing for the most part of my day, I'm faced with the situation where I'm constantly having to prepare for ever-changing music programs. Every week, as you know, we have a different program, and there's an ample amount of music to always listen to in preparation for these concerts. Um, my trusted source for many years has been my Thorns TD160 turntable that you see in the back there. I love the sound of analog music. I love the experience of having an LP in my hands, and love the kind of music output that the record player gives me. Probably the closest I have heard in relation to playing in a music orchestra in a group with people of analog sound production. The problem with that is, of course, sourcing the records for every piece of music that I have to perform. I have quite a nice selection of records, but of course, here and there, we come to a piece that is unknown. It's an oddball. It's something that people have not played. For instance, we played a Prokofiev Symphony Number 3 a couple of weeks ago, which this particular orchestra has not performed since 1973, believe it or not. Yet, one has to prepare and know the music very well before the first rehearsal. Here comes the limitation of having a turntable, right? You can't possibly have every recording of every piece you're about to encounter. So, 21st century solution is using a streamer as a source of music. I have tried a few streamers. I've gone that direction. And a couple of streamers that I've tried the Wim, which is extremely popular, Wim Ultra. And I have also borrowed an Eversolar A8. Both streamers were really good sounding sources of music, yet there was something always missing to me. In my comparison to my record player, I have always gone back to the record as I just enjoy the music much, much more. Of course, being on stage and not just listening to music, but being an integral part of making music, producing this music, I get a completely different experience of listening to my colleagues and hearing the music in real time being made, surrounded by me. I'm really surrounded by music. So it's the kind of experience that's very special. It's very difficult to replicate in any recording. I have recently come across a very interesting product, a PecanPi Plus premium streamer that is made by a company called Orchard Audio. Now, I've never heard of the Orchard Audio before. It doesn't seem to be a mainstream brand, not the one that you find on the shelves of hi-fi store. Yet I started doing some research and digging into this company and found out about the man behind the brand. His name is Leo, and he's a very well established engineer who had a very illustrious career in a business, was an engineer for NASA, among some other big name companies, and then ventured into the world of hi-fi and started creating these different products that are very highly regarded by the industry specialists and have won a whole bunch of accolades and awards throughout the past few years. Now, the product that I've discovered is a streamer. Of course, as I mentioned before, I've tried streamers before and wasn't completely sold on the music quality implementation of the streamers. Now, what really interested me in this particular company is the type of transparency that Leo provides on his site and talks about his products. I started reading about the streamer in particular and found out that Leo lists every component that he puts into this streamer right there on his website. You can read about his latest chips that he puts in, and he puts, the very high quality, like top of the line hardware into his products. This particular streamer, for instance, has the latest AKM flagship chip, AK4499, together with AK4191. As a matter of fact, I started comparing, and the Eversolid AA that I've tried before has the same DAC chip in their equipment. Now, a whole bunch of other things. He lists everything from, the oscillators to resistors to receivers and output stages and linear supplies and headphone amplifiers. Just about everything goes in there. He talks about it. And if you start doing some research and look at some of these components, you realize this is the top tier hardware that he puts into his streamer. The product I'm about to review was provided to me by Leo from Orchard Audio for evaluation purposes. No compensation was received, and he had no input on the content of the opinions of this review. All the opinions expressed here are strictly of my own. Now, here is the streamer itself. It's right behind me. This is the PecanPi Plus Premium. It's right here. It's been set up in my system for the past month, and I've been giving it a real test drive on just about every piece of music that I listen to, and have a great reference point of comparing to the music that I listen on my right there TD160 record player. I'm actually gonna unplug the streamer and show it to you. I think it's definitely worth taking a look at it because I think it's a thing of beauty. And I'm back here with the streamer. Here's the box itself. Really top-notch hardware. All metal, really heavy-duty industrial type of quality. I absolutely love an age of boxy things where he does the slanted front with where the display is and the volume knob. Also, it's got a beautiful headphone output, which I have plugged in my Hi-Fi Man Ananda headphones, and absolutely no problem at any volume. It handles it with ease. Plenty of power in the amplifier section there. I love the slanted design of the front in the age and day where everybody makes boxy streamers. This is very attractive. Now, a beautiful touch here. I think it's a laser engraved logo. Let's see if I can get that in the camera of his company. There it is. Very beautifully done, very special, really one of a kind. Now, going to the back, here we have all the ports from the power button to the XLR to the single-ended. And Leo doesn't have Wi-Fi. He believes in Ethernet connection, so he provides this Ethernet port, which is not a big problem. I had actually purchased one of his recommended devices, that the TP-Link Wi-Fi bridge AC750, which connects easily into the internet. It gives an extremely stable internet connection. Just a $40 device, solves all the issues of the instability of Wi-Fi connection. Now he's got a whole bunch of, I think it's 4 different USB ports in here that you can plug things in. Like I have an external hard drive with high quality files. I can easily plug it in, and device will find all these files, integrate it into my library. And of course there is out coaxial input port right here, which is extremely handy. I can plug in my CD player and use this as a preamp and use the top-notch, top-of-the-line DAC built into the streamer to play all my CDs through using CD player as a transport. You don't have all the bells and whistles as far as the ports and connections that you find on some other streamers, but I think all the necessary things are here, all the necessary things that one would use. For instance, I've got another preamp here that I can connect into this coaxial port, and everything that's connected into my preamp will just go through the streamer. So all kinds of things that are connected into the preamp from my other system can be easily run through a streamer using its top-of-the-line DAC technology. There's a great advantage of that. Now, what about the sound? Well, I'll talk about the sound as soon as I put it down. Now, the streamer comes with the Volumia software, which has a great integration with major streaming networks. For instance, I run Cobus, and its Cobus Direct is completely integrated into the software. So I have been playing this for over a month or so, comparing it to the other streamers, and I reborrowed the Eversolar A8 and comparing against the Wim Ultra. Well, of course, Wim Ultra is about a fifth of the price of PecanPi Plus Premium. And of course, as they say, you get what you pay for. The type of sound coming out of Wim is excellent, but playing, I actually was able to connect them right next to each other and being able to play one after another. Of course, there is a world of difference in the sound. It's extremely noticeable, where Wim is very narrow sounding in its sound stage and quite compressed in its dynamics. So I said, okay, well, that's not exactly maybe a fair comparison, because, we're comparing a $300 device versus a $1,500 device. So let me reborrow my friend's Eversolar A8, which is a $2,000 streamer, which would probably be more of a fair comparison to the PecanPi Plus premium streamer. Well, Eversolar is a fantastic sounding streamer, has all the bells and whistles, inputs, outputs, all kind of ports, versatility, and it sounds really, really good. How does it compare to this? They use the same DAC chip, but I guess it's not just about the DAC chip itself, but about the implementation of all this hardware. I just keep going back to the PecanPi Plus Premium. Is something special about the way that sound draws me in. It really connects me with the music in a way that Eversolar does not. And again, don't get me wrong, Eversolar is a great sounding streamer. It's just a little bit too analytical and not warm enough. And again, remember, I'm coming from the analog music world, and listening to the analog record player, I love that warmth. And this is what I'm hearing from the PecanPi Plus Premium. I hear that warmth. I hear the roundness of the sound, the large dynamic range. And it just is very musical. It's the type of musicality I haven't really experienced outside of the record player. So I must say that, for $1,500 versus the Eversolar 2000, I think it's a great, great bargain. I don't know how much more you have to spend to get that type of quality of sound and that musical involvement that I feel listening to the PecanPi Plus Premium. I absolutely love it. It has become my main listening source. I do miss some of the records that I have, some of my favorite records, but this has become a very worthy replacement, which also gives me an incredible ability to have access to just about all the music that is out there. Kobo's library, as we know, is tremendous, and there's a great choice of high resolution files. But playing them on this particular streamer just brings me that much closer to my experience of making music in real time in the middle of the stage, surrounded by my musician colleagues. I couldn't recommend highly. I'd love to recommend this. I mean, if you are in a market for a music streamer, please do check this out. Leo has an office in New Jersey, I believe. He goes to he goes to exhibitions. He has open houses very often. Please do check him out. I think you will really enjoy it. If you're in for a music experience reproduction, the closest to the real music making, I think you would really enjoy listening to this streamer. orchardaudio.com is his website, and I've had the loveliest time so far that I spent with this streamer. I hope you try and give it a try yourself. Until then, all the best.